Hello friends, this is Miss Marina here, and we are jumping into our next part of our timeline of life, which is birds. Birds live on land and in the air. They are vertebrates, which means that they have a backbone, and they lay eggs to reproduce. Birds live on every continent. They can be tiny, like a hummingbird, or huge, like an ostrich.
So today we're going to be talking about parts of a bird, types of birds, and vital functions of a bird. So first we're going to talk about the parts of a bird. To start, birds have two eyes. Here's one on here, here's another. This is an example of a crow. Okay, it's not a real crow, but it does have all the parts that I do need to talk about. There's also a beak. Different birds have different beaks. There's a wing, two wings, which are very important to birds. We have a tail, feet and legs, and the breast of the bird, which is right underneath here.
Now that I've shown you all the parts of a bird, let's get into a little bit more detail. The breast of the bird is the front part of the body. On many birds, the breast is a different color than the rest of the body. It usually protects their internal organs. The bird uses its claws to grab hold when it lands. The claws are curved and can hold tightly to branches or wires. Some birds use their feet to paddle in the water or to catch fish. The wings of a bird are covered with feathers, which help move the air so the bird can fly. Some birds use their wings to swim in the water. Not all birds can fly. The wings are the bird's front limbs. The tail of a bird can be short or long and is covered with feathers. The tail helps the bird to steer when it is flying, like a rudder. The body of the bird has strong muscles which control the wings. The body is usually covered with feathers. The bird uses its beak to pick up food, like nuts, berries, seeds, and worms. The beak is hard and can peck through wood. The bird stands and walks around on its legs. It tucks its legs up under its body when flying. The bird's legs are often covered with scales. They are the rear limbs. And lastly, the head of the bird has a beak, mouth, eyes, eyelids, nostrils, and ears. The head of a bird can turn easily back and forth. It is often brightly colored. Okay, Polaris, we have types of birds. Some types of birds include cardinal, flamingo, robin, heron, scarlet macaw, peacock, blue jay, hummingbird, owl, ostrich, puffin, mallard duck, mockingbird, red-tailed hawk, cockatiel, and penguin.
Finally, we're going to be talking about the vital functions of the bird. The bird has 5 vital functions that we are going to be talking about today. The first one is a feather, which protects the skin. The feathers are made of keratin and are modified scales. The feathers insulate the body of the bird, protect the bird from the weather, and form a smooth surface for flying or swimming. The feathers wear out and must be shed and replaced once or twice a year.
The next vital function that I'm going to talk about would be the bird's lungs. And what they call that is respiration, which is just a really long word for breathing. All birds breathe by means of lungs. The bird also has air sacs connected to the lungs. The air sacs help supply the bird with large amounts of oxygen. Flying birds need a great deal of oxygen for the energy they need to fly. If you were to find a bird's lungs, they would be right around here by the breast of the bird.
I will also be using our curl friend in order to show you the third vital function. The third vital function of a bird is movement. So for movement, they have wings and they have tails and tail feathers. the bird moves by means of forelimbs. The forelimbs are modified into wings for flying or into flippers for swimming. I'm thinking of penguins for swimming. The curved shape of the wing results in different air pressures on the top and on bottom of the wing, creating lift.
The fourth vital function of a bird is circulation. That's just another really big word for a heart. If you were to try to find the heart on this bird, it would be right about here. The heart is responsible for pumping blood all throughout the body of the bird. The bird has a 4-chambered heart, just like humans, which I think is really cool.
All right, Polaris, and the final vital function that I want to talk about today is reproduction. I have here a very, very special egg that Miss Kristen let me borrow. It is real. It has broken, unfortunately, so there's some tape there to try and keep some pieces together, but it's a really special egg because it's an ostrich egg. An ostrich egg is much, much bigger than other eggs, like you've seen chicken eggs, but this one is big. And even to show you how big it is, I'm going to back it up a little bit. And then I'm going to compare it to my hand. Look how big that egg is, which is crazy. A bird reproduces by eggs covered with a hard shell. The bird usually lays the eggs in a nest prepared for that purpose. The bird sits on the eggs to keep the eggs warm and protected. The bird cares for its youngs after they hatch from the shell.
So we've come to the end of our lesson here today, and now comes the important part where we talk about how you're going to record this work. As you can tell, the screen is black right now, and that's because I don't want to show you. I want you to listen. So I will be showing you a picture of how you can record your work, but please listen carefully. The first years, second years, and third years are all responsible for something different. The first years, you're responsible for parts of the bird. Second years, you're responsible for types of birds. And third years, you're responsible for recording the vital functions of a bird. Okay, if you were listening carefully, you can see that the picture that I just put up is exactly what I had just said. So if you need a visual of what I was talking about, feel free to pause the video and look at what year you are and remember or write down what you need to do. But Miss Marina, how do we record our work? So if you go to the Google Drive under birds, you will find a document that has a list of all the ways that you can record your works. And if it's not on there and you thought of a new way to record it, go for it. Definitely try out some different things to record our work. This is the time to be creative. If you're interested in getting more creative, take a look at what I've made to record works. So here we have parts of a bird where I drew my own bird and I recorded all the important parts of the bird. Here I have types of birds, which is for you second years. What I'd like for you to do is record 2 of your favorite types of birds you heard about today and saw. If you want, you can even go outside with your parents and find birds and draw those instead. But my minimum, so the least amount of birds I'd like for you to draw or record are 2. And lastly, we have the vital functions of the bird. What I decided to do was draw all 5 of the vital functions of the bird, write them down, and then color them in. All right, and that wraps up our video today. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed learning about birds. Talk to you later.